Hey guys, so welcome back to another episode of Redeem Talks. If you're new here, my name is Redeem and I share realistic information on how you can start and scale your business, whether you are a stay-at-home mom or you have a 9-to-5 job. So let's get talking. So guys, today we're talking about the factors you must consider to avoid crashing your business in 2023. Okay, so already it's a lot of work trying to get capital for your business. It's already a lot of work. Now imagine crashing this business after you've managed to get capital, to raise capital for this business. You end up crashing it because of ignorance, okay, because of the things that you could have just avoided, but you do not have the information. Okay, so that's why I want to share with you these things that you must put into consideration so you won't crash your business by yourself. So the first factor on my list today is your product. Yes, that thing you are bringing into the marketplace, the main thing you are selling. Okay, it's very important for you to understand your product, understand what you are selling, understand what the value you're bringing into the marketplace. Okay, now this is what you want people to buy from you. This is what you want people to give you the hard-earned money for. So that's to say, after someone finished working somewhere or earning a salary or getting profits out of their business, you want them to give you a part of that money in exchange for whatever you are selling to them. Okay, so that means you need to understand that product you're bringing into the market. So it is important for you to understand the product you are bringing into the marketplace. Okay, so you have to research on your product, research on that business. Okay, research about that business. Now I when I say research on your product, I don't mean hearsay research. Okay, like opening a business because a friend of a friend is doing that business, and then you have you assumed it's profitable. Okay, you just assume it's profitable and then you started doing that business, or because someone is selling perfumes, or because someone is selling men's whatever, you just start the business because I feel like this person is making profits, or even if the person tells you that, oh, this business is good, you should start it. You still need to do your own research. You still need to understand that business for yourself. Okay, now this was what happened to me in 2020 during the pandemic. A friend of a friend was selling 𝐂𝐀 face mask. Okay, don't mind me if I keep looking down because I have my script here. A friend of a friend was selling 𝐂𝐀 face mask, and she was making lots of sales according to her. Okay, she was making lots of sales. So I got in touch, and then she started to tell me how she has sold more than 5,000 pieces. Okay, 5,000 pieces of 𝐂𝐀 face mask. That was like a lot of face masks to be selling, and the business was actually very good according to her, according to what I heard at the time, what she told me at the time. She was making lots of profits. In fact, we calculated the profit. So if you're selling this amount, and then we calculated everything, and guys, it was mind-blowing, the amount, that's the profit she was making. Okay, it was mind-blowing. So I was inspired. Who wouldn't be inspired? I was very inspired. And then she started telling me how she's not even selling enough because there's still markets out there, there's still demand out there. You understand? Now this thing I'm talking about is during the pandemic. There was this whole what is it called? So many things. People were wearing face masks, right? So yes, she was selling these and she was making lots of profit. She was ordering from China, and then it wasn't even up to, it was a very small amount of money she was ordering for, and then she was making lots and lots of profit. So I got inspired. I was like, okay, how do I do this? What do I do? Tell me, I'm ready. Then she started to tell me that she was even going for, she's about to order again. That means I can now join her and order. Okay, so guys, that was like a golden opportunity, you understand? So she said she was ordering again, like I said earlier. So I asked, okay, how many pieces can I start with? So I ended up ordering 500 pieces of 𝐂𝐀 face mask. Okay, 500 pieces of kids face masks. And the thing is, at that time it felt very small compared to what she's ordering. Like this lady was ordering she was ordering a lot, you understand? So she was supposed to, give me 500 from the order. So that was like, I was like, okay, let me manage 500. Just let me manage 500. So yes, at that time, looking back at it now, like just reflecting on the whole thing, I realized that 500 pieces was too much, okay, for someone that has not done the business before. Okay, so this is one of the things you must consider when starting a business. The factor you must put into consideration. You have to understand the business for yourself. Okay, I'm going to keep on telling you the story, but I just wanted to pause and like let you understand that it's not enough for someone to say business is profitable, a business you've never done before, and you ended up ordering that much. Okay, anyways, long story short, the face mask arrived. At that time I was living in Abuja, Nigeria. So the face masks arrived. I got my own cartons, was sent down to Abuja. Like everything was just smooth and all. So I got mine. That was 8 cartons. Yes, 8 cartons of kids face mask. Yeah, I think it was 50-50 in each cartons. Yeah, 50-50 in each cartons. So I had 8 cartons. It arrived. Oh, I was so excited. I'm ready for business. So I adjusted everything in my apartment. So I stacked up the the face mask, the cartons of face mask. I was happy. Like I was so excited. I've calculated my profit. Like that's the only thing I was thinking of. I've calculated the profit. So okay, 1 day passed, 2 days passed, nothing has happened. Carton of face masks is still there. So I was like, okay, wait a minute, how am I supposed to sell this? What's happening? Because I'm not seeing profit, I'm not seeing capital, face mask is still here untouched. What do I do? So that's when it now began to dawn on me that I'm not sure I can pull this through. So this is like another point for us to note, because you find out that sometimes we just start our businesses because of someone said it's profitable. You understand that when we hear that word profitable, it's as if every other information is not valid. Like we just seize. That's the thing. Is it profitable? Yes. Okay, I will start. I will invest. How much do I? There's more to a profitable business. You understand? 10 businesses or 5 businesses can be profitable, but there's the one that is more convenient for you. You understand? I don't know if it's convenient as the word, but there is the one that actually, I don't know, that actually suits you. I don't know the word to use, but yes, you understand. Profitable is not the only keyword you should look for when searching for starting up a business. No. Okay, so it happened that yes, the business is profitable, fine, for the person doing it, but is it profitable for me? Is this something I can do? Can I pull this off? You understand? Anyways, I was living in an estate at the time, so there were different apartments, and also I went to one of the apartments. Not one, I was going to different, but one of them bought from me. You understand? So I think the person bought like two face masks. Okay, and the others were like, okay, thank you, we'll get back to you if we need any. You understand? It's okay for them not to be interested. I spoke to different people. Oh, I sell kids face mask because I noticed they had kids, right? That was my idea. Okay, it's kids face mask, so it's parents that have kids that will buy it, right? So let me start selling. Let me see how I can sell 500 face masks to 500 parents. So I don't know. At the time, that was my own thoughts. You understand? My thoughts. So okay, one actually, yes, he bought from me. A man, he bought from me, the father. So he bought, like, was it 2 or 3 he bought? Yes. And then 2 or 3 from a carton of 50. Talk more, carton of 10s. That's like 10 cartons, because it's 500, so 10 cartons. So just buying 2 which was very much, I was like, oh, finally someone bought. But at the same time, there's still a long way to go. You understand? There's still a long way to go. Okay, fine. I started talking to I left my estate. So this I'm telling you is serious. So I wasn't even talking to people in the estate again, because they said they will get back to me. So I can't wait for them to, until they get back to me. I was not searching for other people. That's how I started going from different apartment to apartment to. This thing was getting serious. Like I've now turned to like salesman or saleswoman, you know. So yeah. So after some, I think after a week or two, yes, I really can't be so specific with the timing, but yes, after a week or two, I got in contact with the lady, and then she was still singing praises of the face mask. I'm almost sold out. I was like, okay, pause. How are you doing this? What's happening? Because I'm yet to sell any. I'm yet to sell. I've not sold more than 10 pieces, and it's been 2 weeks. What's really happening? And then she was like, oh, how are you selling it? So what are you doing? I told her what I've done, how I've almost walked around every area I know around my neighborhood. And then she was like, oh, no. She said she does, what is it called, distribution. She supply to supermarkets. I was like, okay, you understand that she supplies to supermarkets. So this is something you also have to consider when you want to start a business. Fine, the business is profitable. Ask yourself, where are my customers? Okay, where are my customers? Now okay, let me go back to the gist. And then she said she supplied to supermarket. So there was this supermarket I know, Nadrim. That's the supermarket in my neighborhood at the time. So I took it there. So I went to Nadrim supermarket, and then they were like, okay, you talk to this one, you talk to this one, talk to this one. Okay, I finally met with the manager. Yes, so he told me, okay, bring the face mask. Yeah, so I thought I interpreted that as, okay, that means business has started, bring everything. So when I was coming the next day, I carried cartons and brought, and then it was like, hey, take it easy, let's see the face mask. So he opened it, checked it, and all that's when I myself began to realize that, okay, these face masks, they are different designs. Because I didn't even know all these things. These kids' face masks, they are different designs. So he went through them, and I was like, okay, these designs, this is the one we are going to consider or not buy, or yeah, this is the one we're going to consider. You understand? So I'm going to speak with, there's always someone to speak with at the top. So he said after speaking with the person, then he will get back to me. You understand? So okay, I went back. I started realizing that even with the product I'm selling, there are different types. These are the things I didn't know. Sometimes you just want to sell something, you don't know the type that people like. Let's say it's something that is edible, you don't know the taste that people like, you don't know the scent, you don't know the flavor, you don't understand these things, you just want to start them. Okay, so finally after some days, I still came back. It's not like they will call you, you'll be the one going. I think it depends on how much value what you're selling is even. So I went back there, and then like after some days, I think I went like 2 or 3 times before they finally said, okay, bring it. How many? He said 24. Wow. So I've been walking around to and fro for 24 pieces when I have 500. So whatever they were telling me, I was calculating from what I had. You understand? Yeah, so I dropped the 24 of a particular design, and then I got that idea. I was like, okay, so this is what I'll do. I'm going to start writing down names of all the supermarkets I know. You understand? Since this is like supply, so I'll be supplying to the supermarket. I didn't know these things, this very crucial part of the business. Okay, to sell the business, it's more like to sell the product, it's more like supplying to supermarkets according to the lady. So I didn't know these things, and I've already ordered 500 pieces. You see, so that's something you should not do at all. this, if you want to start it, that research I was now making, writing down all the list of pharmacies, all the names of pharmacies, I said pharmacies, supermarkets. That is what. So I started writing, browsing. I was browsing these things. I'll browse supermarkets near me, supermarkets around me, supermarkets. That's how I started browsing. I was writing them down on a list. I wrote about, I think, was it 12? You understand? So I started visiting these supermarkets one after the other. Okay. Now, one of the supermarkets I went to, the person there said they already have a supplier. So, like, it was like, oh, if you had come, your designs are actually very fine. I like this one. If you had come, let's say, was it last month or so, or weeks, if you had come, we would have, patronized you instead. So I was like, wow. Okay. So they already have a supplier. You understand? So that means even before the product arrived, while I was waiting for the arrival of the product, or while I was, while I got the information about that business, I should have started my research. I should have prepared people that will buy from me immediately the goods arrive. So that's what happens with new business owners. We get to put so much pressure on the business, you understand? Because the goods arrive, the goods is there with us. That's when we want to start marketing. That's when we want to start doing everything, things that we should have done before, but we don't have any idea about it, right? So that was it. I started going to supermarkets. So after I exhausted my list, the list I've written of the supermarkets, I had to now start going. If you're watching this from Abuja, you should be familiar with Gwarinpa. So I started going to Gwarinpa, other places that were kind of close to where I stayed. I started going to Gwarinpa. What I would do is this: I would just get in a cab and then ask the rider, because I didn't know those areas. So I'll tell the driver to, like, okay, just keep going. If it's a long road, he will just keep going. And then that was when I was now understanding the whole place. Okay, this road, I think I saw 2 supermarkets. I'll come back. You understand? So while it is that is how you do your research. Understand how many supermarkets. If it's something that has to do with you supplying to supermarkets, ask yourself, how many supermarkets are in my location, okay, or in my state, or in my city, whatever. How many supermarkets can I reach? You can't be selling something that you need to supply to supermarkets and you don't know any supermarket, or there is no supermarket. See, these are things you have to consider when starting your business, okay? When starting a business, no matter how profitable people say the business is, okay? So long story short, I got some people in Gwarinpa that bought, but I got some supermarkets in Gwarinpa and then they bought some, So at the end of the day, I finally was not able to sell. I was not able to sell it because at the time, I realized that people were not selling these kids' face masks on the road. You understand? So, when where there's traffic, you see people coming out, they're selling, people are buying through their windows. I'm like, so this thing has just saturated so quickly, you understand? So everybody now has access to that type of face mask. So it was a lot, guys, but yeah, that's my story. You understand? You don't have to sell kids face masks to learn from it, okay? Whatever you're selling, understand your product, okay? Understand, okay, whatever you're selling, if it's something that has to do with colors, which color is most preferable? You understand? Which colors do people want the most? Will people buy the most? Understand these things. Don't just say, oh, bring 50 of these, 100 of these, 200 of these. Understand these things, okay? If it's something that has to do with sizes, which size sell more, which age group sells more, all of these things you have to put into consideration, okay? And then when we talk about the next one is your customer. Understand people that are willing to buy this, okay? Because sometimes you just start a business and then start expecting your colleagues and then church members and to buy from you, and putting so much pressure on them when initially they are not your target customers. They are not the people you should be selling to, okay? So yes, and then the other thing to consider, the other factor to consider is your competition, okay? How many people are doing the same thing? How many people are selling the same product, okay? How many people are selling that same product? So the first thing is your product, the next is your customers. Imagine if she didn't give me the idea of supplying to supermarkets. That's how I would have looked for how many parents really to buy kids face masks. Is it 500 parents really? Or let's say, okay, because some will have 2 kids or 3 kids. Like, how is that possible? You understand? So these are the things you must put into consideration. Understanding your product, because at the end of the day, from the 500 pieces, the ones that sold more were the ones with that particular design. The others, they wrote happy birthday on it, so it was hard for people to buy because not everybody's celebrating birthday at that time. You understand? So just wearing happy birthday for no reason somehow. So that one was hard to sell. And then your customers, okay, I talked about it now. And then your competitors, which people are selling the same product. Just the way the product all of a sudden was now saturated, everybody now had access to it. So ask yourself, how many people are selling this thing that I'm about to sell? And then your competitors. Now when I'm talking about competitors, I don't mean, or when I say a business being saturated, I don't mean that, oh, you have to look for this idea that nobody has ever done, or that is, no, because there's really no such. It's not like you have to create it yourself. Okay, for every business idea there's at least 1,000 persons doing it, at least 1,000 plus, at least 1,000 persons doing it. Okay, so what you need to do is, yes, almost all businesses are saturated. There are people selling the same things you're selling, so you have to find, okay, what is my uniqueness? What do I want to bring into the marketplace? Although that's like a totally different topic. We're talking about, having your own, like, your unique selling proposition, which I'll be making a video on shortly, but that's a different thing entirely. But you need to understand people that are selling what you're selling, at least so you can have an idea of their pricing, of their method and all of that. And then the next one is content. For people that are selling online, which I strongly advise because then I had no idea of starting an online business. I had zero idea. Okay, so that's another thing you should put into consideration. The type of content to put out there. Is this product the type that will allow me to create content without spending too much? So guys, these are the 4 factors you must consider when starting a business. Your product, your customers, your competition or your competitors, and then your content, which is a very important part of your business. I'll be sharing more on all of this, but these are the 4 things you must understand. Do you understand your product? Like, do you really understand your product? Do you really understand your customers? Where can you get them? Where are they? Where are your customers? How can you easily reach them? You have to understand these things. And then your competition. How many people are doing the same things? What are their pricing? What is their method of reaching customers? You have to know these things. And then content. If you are online, which I strongly advise, because you just have to come online and start. If you don't have an online, if you are running your business but you are just running it like solely offline, no. So content, what type of content will you be creating for this business? Okay, so these are things you have to put into consideration. So yes, now if you have any business, or you've had similar experience and other factors you think people need to also consider, kindly state it in the comment section. I'll be waiting to hear from you. And yes,